Good morning, good morning, good morning. Happy Monday. Today is Monday the 16th. This is the weekly energy report for January 16th through the 22nd of 2023. And I am your host, Soul Coach Michele, here on Soul Coach Studio TV. And I'm so glad you're here. So if you're watching on YouTube, which is pretty much the main place, go ahead and click subscribe and the bell and then give me a thumbs up so that YouTube knows to share this with other folks that like the same kind of stuff we like. If you are watching me on Facebook or you are watching me on LinkedIn, which is a new foray for me. I don't know squat about LinkedIn. People are like, are you on LinkedIn? And I'm like, yeah, kind of. I don't hang out over there a whole lot. So it was an experiment for January to see what comes of that. So I may or may not continue to be doing live streams into LinkedIn. I may be doing more focused things on other things, but mostly I'm on YouTube. Good morning, Sharon. Thank you for being here. If you are hanging out with me, and it's so weird, I know you're seeing me, but for some reason it's not registering you as a viewer. So odd. Anyway, still Mercury retrograde. That could be why. Because you exist. So let's get down to business. Oh, there it is. It says we are one person. So I'm assuming there's more than one person because I don't know what's going on with the technology. Anyway, so thank you for being here. If you're here with me live, go ahead and chat. And if you are in Facebook or YouTube, I think you can chat through and I will see it. Otherwise, I will kind of hit both of those platforms later and check in with your comments if I don't address them right now. But today we're going to talk about, we got so much movement, but it's the good kind of movement. So the energy of the week that we're going to talk about today is shifting. It's shifting, but still, I know that sounds weird. So I was going to talk all about empowerment. So those of you that were with me on Saturday for the Reconnect Align Manifest workshop, just side note, housekeeping, if you were there or you signed up for it and you couldn't be there, check your email this morning. I already sent in this morning, meaning Monday morning, the 16th. I sent emails out to everybody who signed up and registered for that, for the replay of that, a clean worksheet, because, being a Virgo who loves all of her pens and having cleanliness about my worksheets, you want to reprint yours and need a blank space to transcribe all your goodness on it, that you can do. And then also the slides from the workshop are included. So there's an email waiting for you in your inbox there. So just for housekeeping. And also, thank you for joining me. Those of you that were there live, such lovely, lovely shifting energies. I thought it was just so wonderful. I hope it was wonderful for you. Those that are going to check out the replay, you can do so through that email that I sent this morning. And if you still wanted to kind of participate, but you didn't register yet, if you want to do it as more of a DIY course, please just tag me, email me, whatever. And we can figure out how to set that up. I have not figured that out yet, but I will figure it out if somebody wants to do that. Anyways, that said, another announcement. After, this week, Mercury goes direct. Praise the Jesus and the Oprah Winfrey and all of the Avengers and whoever the universe, whoever your deity is. Woohoo! That's going direct this week. Doesn't mean everything won't boom fall into place, but it will mean that we're starting to go in the right direction, and I'll talk more about that in a minute. Then we have new moon in Aquarius on the 21st. So yay, Aquarians coming into their birthday season. And then Lunar New Year on the 22nd. So I'm going to talk about what that means right now for us for this week to support you as you move into that new energy. So really quick, if you wanted to kind of, talk about co-creative life coaching, I have two spots open. If you were in the workshop, you will receive the email. There'll be a link for you to do a curiosity call if that's something you want to do. If you want to check it out and do a curiosity call and you couldn't make it to the workshop, but you're like, I want to participate in doing, a deeper dive in Reconnect, Align, Manifest, which is a 6-month kind of deep dive journey into learning how to set goals, navigating those into inspired action, and then manifesting, learning how to do that kind of thing. For clarity, consistency, and confidence in your manifesting. So if that sounds interesting, check out my website. and I'm opening up that calendar. I think first appointments start on the 31st, but go ahead and grab it now because if you wait, by the time you go to make it, it might be further out. So just a heads up. That said, okay, the energy that we're navigating for the next week or so. So we just came off of a Mars retrograde, which was like, I am so frustrated because I don't even know what my action is supposed to be, but I want to go somewhere. And because then Mercury and that kind of stuff can make us pop off. Like, I have no idea where I'm supposed to be doing, but I need to be doing, which are programming in current society, which is to be productive. And if that's just busy work or like we're trained, it's better to be busy than productive. Like, just exhaust the fuck out of yourself until, like, so that nobody thinks you're lazy. When in fact, sometimes, like, the way that we manifest the life that we want and we feel better about things is to understand that there is a flow to that kind of stuff. Like, there is, you know, rest, push, or rest inspired action. Like, we have to open up that space. And part of that, a lot of times, which we don't like doing, I mean, I know from my own experience when I went to a conference a couple of years ago, and this is my first experience of the whole concept of emptying yourself of labels. And those labels might be like, whenever we talk about this stuff, it's always our mind immediately goes to the labels that we don't like, right? But the fact is that it's all labels. Oh, and by the way, that this over here is my salt lamp. That glowing thing back there is my salt lamp for good ions. So that it's not like I have my, like, that's legit. It's not like I have a glowing orb on my shoulder. I guess I do, but you know. Anyway, but the concept of emptiness, of being empty, like, think of it from the perspective of, if I'm letting go of labels, and it might be labels you love. Like, it might be daughter, it might be sibling, it might be beloved one, it might be colleague, it might be what you do for a living. Like, all these labels that you actually do like, we have to let go of them. We have to empty them. And all the programming that comes with our adulthood, the programming of certain things that well-meaning individuals in our life, or people maybe who have their own, you know, stuff going on, trying to shorten our learning curve by giving us their perspective on stuff that has programmed us. Okay, and so we all talk about, like, I don't want to reprogram anybody. I am done doing that shit. What I want you to do is empty out so you don't need programming. You can be a free range human being, back to the core, like the course of your soul kind of a thing. You know, yeah, we need to navigate this 3D world, but do we need to do it the way other folks tell us? No. And the only way to get to that point where you really know, what do I want, is to empty it all out. Empty it all out. And so the last full moon we had was so lovely for this. And again, some of this programming, maybe we loved it. Maybe we loved the safety of it. And even if it was uncomfortable, it was still your comfort zone. But letting go of that can create grief because you're saying goodbye to something. You know, letting go of all the people, the things, the ideas, the beliefs can sometimes be challenging. And because I think our last full moon was a Cancer full moon, there was all these feels coming up around this. And so it was so beautiful to be able to feel, process, and crying and laughing and screaming and, you know, dancing. All of these things helped us to let ourselves feel those feels and then let them go, because our goal is not to be in our trauma and to trauma bond and to stand in our trauma and wallow in it and smear it all over us. The whole point of it is to to let go of the pain, glean the wisdom. And processing that stuff is letting ourselves feel that feel and then letting it go. What is the blessing? What is the lesson? And then letting go of all the other crap. And then saying to yourself, that's part of who I am, and that's okay. That's what it is, and here's how I need to move forward. That's where we're at. And we're letting go and emptying out, because here's the interesting thing. When you think of your house, and your house is filled to the brim, your closets are exploding, it's time to declutter, right? It's the same within ourselves, because the only way to create space to move, to create space for you to think, to create space for you to feel, to create space for you to manifest stuff into your being, is to empty it all out, to create this empty vessel where there is just this pure potential energy, this pure potentiality of thinking about what it is that could be. That's what this is about. That's what today and probably today, all the way through to about new moon. Because you have right now, I don't know what to do, and for up until last when was it? Last Thursday. And now it kind of feels like I'm all dressed up with, but I can't remember where I'm supposed to go or where the invitation is that tells me where to go. So think of it that way. Like Mars was the doing, the party, and Mercury retrograde is how do I get there? The map quest if you're old enough, the Google Maps if you're, young, or the paper invitation that is your key to get in. But because it's retrograde, I can't find it. So I'm all dressed up in my ball gown, and I'm irritated because I don't know where my invitation is that's going to tell me how to get where I'm going. That's what it feels like right now. And that's the weather. Do I have to feel that way? No. You might be saying, okay, it doesn't feel good, but how can I make this feel better? And it's asking yourself those questions. And I just wrote them down really quick. And if you're on the email list, you will get this in an email. So don't worry. But if you're not on the email list, make sure you let me know and I'll put you on there. But instead of worrying about being the empty vessel, instead of about being all dressed up and not knowing where to go, or sitting next to the door with your purse like a meemaw, waiting for someone to come get your ass, instead, set it aside and say, you know what? I can just be. It is okay for me to I don't have to be doing. I don't have to. And if that makes you twitch, kind of say to yourself, you know what? It is safe for me to just be. It is safe for me not to know what the direction that is that I need to take. It is safe for me to be all dressed up, but not know how to get to the party at the moment. I know this. It is safe for me to trust in the universe because the universe has my highest good at heart. It's always conspiring for my best and highest good, and everybody's best and highest good that's all involved. And right now, the fact that I'm feeling like I am all dressed up and I'm not quite sure how to get to the party is okay because there's a reason I'm not being told how to get there yet. There's a reason. I may not see it, but I have to be okay with the not knowing and be in surrender. That's the invitation. Surrender to where am I supposed to go? Because all that will come out starting next week. Because the path we'll follow is Mercury goes direct Wednesday, right? So our first direct day, full day, is the 19th, Thursday. Now realize it's not like you won't get the invitation in the mail or the directions right away, but it's going to not feel as intense because when things station, everything stops. So at least we're not feeling like shitty about it anymore, but we still don't have our map yet. So that's okay because what it's inviting you to do is to give space. And that's what Aquarius has thought, give space, right? Give space so that you can think about, what if I could insert whatever it is you want to do that's come up after Mars went direct? Or what would it take for me to do that? Who do I need to be? Because, and I'm building to something here. So who do I need to be? And what would it feel like if I could do that? What would it feel like? Because standing in that space of pure potentiality, because come new moon and lunar new year, after that, all of the stuff that you've been wanting is shit gonna get real, my friend. Shit's gonna get real. And a lot of times we're in this like, I want it, I want it, I want it, I want it so bad. And then it comes and you're like, and you may not be conscious of this, but think about all the reasons you have given yourself not to have what you want. Not to have. And it might be, might not be conscious. It might be because, my family needed me. That's totally legit, right? My family needed me, so I couldn't go do this. Legit, but it's still a block. Because when there's a will and there's no fear, there's a way. Or, oh, I got sick, so I can't. I know a ton of people that are mompreneurs that have way more children than me, and people that have other family obligations bigger than me that are doing what they want to do. And I don't know how they do it, but they do it because they run towards it, right? I know people who are ill that are still doing what they're called to do because they're in the calling and their illness abates because they're doing what they're supposed to. And it might also be like instead of standing in that trauma, they're standing on it as a platform. And I look at these folks and I just am like, wow. When I think about all the shit that I've blocked myself from to do things And you maybe are thinking about that too, where they're legit excuses, but they're still excuses because I can still be and move towards in baby step motion or big step motion what I want if I'm lovingly courageous. And the weird thing that's going on right now is you're standing and being invited into this surrender of non movement, being all dressed up, but don't have your invitation of how to get to the party yet because it's making you want the party more. It's making you want to get there to the ball. It's making you want to be like, I so want to be there because what that does is once Monday comes, and all this kind of starts moving in the right directions and shit starts getting real, rubber's meeting the road. And what's going to happen is normally you might throw a roadblock. Oh, that's too big for me. That is too big for me. But this time, because you're opening the vessel to be in the emptiness, to have that courage to be in the emptiness with yourself and to be so excited about what you want coming forth, you will be brutally honest with yourself about any excuses that pop up. You'll be like, oh, that's an excuse. I know it's a legit excuse, but how can I, because this world is not black and white, how can I hold both things? How can I hold the obligation that maybe is what I'm using as an excuse and instead invite and lovingly hold that obligation while also lovingly hold what I want and doing what I want, doing both of those things and being okay with it. So that when you do that, it just frees everything up. That courage of loving courageousness moving forward. That's what the energy is teaching us right now, because come Monday, that's what we're going to be doing after the new year in Aquarius. And by the way, this weekend, the new moon has some other crap going on with Saturn and Venus. And just an FYI, you might feel like you're kind of alone in the situation. It's going to be kind of weird where you're like, I don't want it. It's like you're going to be the crazy ex-girlfriend. I swear, go away. Why are you leaving? Like that kind of thing where you're like wanting the space to feel your feels and think about your stuff and really kind of do some internal work, because new moon is like, I'm going inside. But there's a Venus play in there and a Saturn play, which is Venus is like, I want to cuddle. And the Saturn's like, mm-mm. And Aquarius is like, I'm all about me. I got to be up in my head. And so there's going to be this weird kind of push and pull around wanting to be with those you love and cherish, who support you in your ideas and stuff, and wanting them to go away. And then questioning yourself, do I want them to go away or do they just not want me around? Like there's going to be a little bit of that head play going on. So just be mindful that that's going to be like kind of a curveball in the background. So knowing sometimes what the weather's going to be like, you can be like, oh, well, that's just Venus and Saturn and the moon and Aquarius kind of not playing nice with each other. That's just them. I'm going to stick to my guns, stay in my surrender, focus on writing out what is this that I want, and then asking myself questions around that of what if I could, blah, 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 whatever it is I want. What would it take for me to be the person who has that? And then like, what would it feel like once I have that? Like that kind of stuff. Focus on that and stay in that energy, knowing that this other chatter that could lead to a little self-doubt about the people around you, which is all just mind fuckery from the planets right now. And it only lasts for a little bit. And by the way, that by Sunday, the Lunar New Year comes and woohoo, let's celebrate. Everybody happy Lunar New Year. And everything will kind of move in the right direction. So let's pull some cards because we have a little bit of time to do that. I'm going to pull some animal cards. It is my goal and intention, even though I have about 5 billion things to do, that I want to get to know. There's a deck that's calling to me that's in a plastic right now because it's been in plastic since October for me to sit down and play with. Again, I'm all dressed up, and don't have the invitation to move forward on it yet. So apparently that's what's going on, but that's coming. So we're going to use animals today. Good morning, Mary Jo. How are you? Better late than never, she says. That's funny. Hey, there's always the replay. You can catch the first half of this like later on your lunch hour and coffee hour, or just like podcast me because I don't do a dance or anything, at least not right now. Anyway, so we're going to ask our cards. We're going to pull some cards around this whole like idea of, because surrendering can be a challenge because we are all like, do. Like I had to sit here and ground. I feel it like the energy of untetheredness right now because I've been like hanging out in channeled areas and crown chakra this morning. I'm like, I texted my girlfriends and I was like, oh my God, I'm so ungrounded. And I even had cacao to drink and I was eating chocolate overnight oats. And I think I need to go eat a hamburger and it's not even noon. So Well, we got two cards jumping out. So what we're going to do is we're going to say, okay, we're going to put these back. That was clumsy, not spirit. What we're going to do is we're going to ask, what medicine do we need to support and help guide us? Give us that feeling into the surrender that's needed for us to ground ourselves into what we want. We don't need to know how we're going to get there yet. That'll come at the end of the week. That'll come kind of Monday-ish. And kind of the plans for that, the inspired action plan, you'll find the invitation sometime this weekend. It'll be cool. But in the meantime, what's it going to take for us? Or what medicine do we need to support as we move into that space? Okay. And of course, everything's upside down. Oh, wait, no. Only the first thing is upside down. Y'all. Boom, boom, boom. Yes. So Nightingale spirit. And I love Nightingale because I love how, like, you have kind of these RCA Victor. They're flowers. But I see these as kind of like, do you remember the old Victrolas? I have one somewhere. My uncle gave it to me. All my people know that I love antique communications things. Like I have giant old radios, we have Victrolas, microphones, all this, and film cameras, because I was a mass comm major, and it's one of my things that I love to collect. But anyways, these flowers remind me of the RCA Victor phone where the music would be. And the Nightingale spirit is all about singing. To me, it's sing your own song. Like really get in touch with what it is that your soul is telling you, which to me, soul purpose is the same for everybody. Love, abundance, joy, because that's universal energy. And you're an extension of that universal energy, whether you call it God, the universe, spirit, whatever your jam is, you are an extension of that. And so thusly, we all have that same kind of why when we're with people we love and we're doing things that make us joyful, when we're grateful and really sitting in the idea of how abundant we really are, we're aligned with our soul purpose. The life purpose is literally how you manifest that in your individual expression. Like, am I doing what brings all those things for me and thusly creating that stuff in my life? Okay. So that's singing your song. Now, the card itself says love is all around. And what that tells me to share with you is love is all around. Like I said, people wander around saying, oh, we live in such a horrible world and people are always arguing and nobody is kind to each other. Okay, well, fucking change it. I shouldn't swear that much. I guess Facebook doesn't like that, but I don't really care. Sing my own song. So if you don't like what you're seeing, be the thing you want. Be the kindness, be the love. And here's the other thing. As we're emptying, really know love is all around you. And it's upside down because I forgot that I knew that, I didn't know that, or I knew that and I don't wanna. I think it's more of I forgot that I knew that and a little bit of I knew that and I don't wanna, because I think we all know just being feels really good, because just being or doing something creative, emptying out of all of the other shit, the old thinking, the old programming, the old to-do lists, not to say, like, yeah, we got to pay our bills, we're in the 3D and all this business, but taking time instead of scrolling on Facebook, or binge watching for 3 hours something, maybe binge watch for 2 hours and then take an hour to be creative, whatever that looks like for you, whether it's music or cooking or painting or drawing or going outside and gardening. Creativity is about your sacral chakra, in the sense of where can I emulate the creator? Because you're an extension of the creator, you have it within you to do it. Just kind of do that. Just feel into, and it was funny because Darren and I were talking this morning. He said, you know what? Today I feel like I just want to go where I'm called. And I thought, that is awesome. When I am done with my live stream, which, by the way, I'm called to do this. I love doing this. So this is part of it. When I'm done with this, I don't know what I'm going to do. I'm going to just flow. I'm going to ask myself and universe, what do we want to do today? And I'm going to go do that. And I may ask that every 5 minutes, because it might be, I want to go, draw a picture. And when I'm done, I want to go sing a song. Or when I'm done, I may want to do something else. Or maybe nothing. Maybe I want to take a nap. It's okay. But no, love is all around you. And if we are going to have lovingly courageous action, just know that the universe is the epitome of that agape love, that unconditional, or just love in general, no label whatsoever. And that is the boat, the magic carpet, whatever you want to call it, that you're going to float on in this surrendering mode, in this empty vessel of just feeling the potentiality of going in. No, love is all around you in that potentiality. Now, this is funny because don't worry, because our supporting cards for that medicine is don't worry, life is speeding up. Mercury goes direct on Wednesday. You'll kind of start feeling that on Thursday, Friday, maybe probably more so on Monday, but a little faster than you're feeling Mars because Mars is bigger and farther out. And so it moves a little bit slower, but you're probably going to feel a lot more of the action of Mercury retrograde going into the weekend, into the new moon and the lunar new year. But know that it's speeding up. So everything's coming. It's coming. It's okay. You can still know love is all around and hang out in your surrender to really kind of give yourself good grounding energy to get to go into this, to have that lovingly courageous moment where you're brutally honest, where you say, am I going to lean into fear and make an excuse, or am I going to see the excuse and be like, ooh, I'm going to make a choice here. I may have to move a little slower because I got these other things that I'm using as an excuse, but I can still move forward. And maybe those excuses will dissolve at that point. Who knows? But the fact is, life is going to be moving a little bit faster. So just use this time to rest and to learn. And then, Bobcat, life is a mystery. Life is a mystery. Be okay in the mystery. Be okay because the mystery is fun. I mean, I don't know about you, but I love watching mysteries on television, especially the ones where you can't figure it out. And Darren is so notorious, he'll we'll watch these movies like Murder on the Orient Express or some other movie like Knives Out. I haven't seen the new Knives Out yet, but I'm excited to watch it. But those kinds of things where you it's like Clue, but on acid and without Tim Curry, which is kind of a bummer, but it is what it is. But knowing that there's like this cool little maze you're kind of wandering through. And then when you come out at the end, you see all the stuff. And it's always fun to be surprised at the end. You try to figure it out the whole way. And it drives me crazy because Darren's like, he'll say what he thinks through the whole thing and he'll talk through the whole thing. And I'm like, shush, because I don't say nothing. I just am like, I think it in my head, I'll say, I think it is this person. And at the end, he'll be like, I didn't realize it was going to be that person. Or he'll be like, I told you. And I'm like, you're not supposed to do that. It's supposed to be a surprise. So we take this two different ways. But at the end of the day, knowing life is a mystery, and instead of fearing the mystery, instead of being afraid of what's around the corner, being like, ooh, what's around the corner? What's the pure potentiality of this? I'm so excited to witness it. What is today going to bring? If we can shift into that energy and be in surrender of the open vessel, which is that whole, what is today going to bring? What's tomorrow going to bring? What's going to happen next Monday after Lunar New Year? Where am I going to sit and be and do? And if you need somebody to kind of hold hands with to do that, like I said earlier in the broadcast, feel so newsy. I do have 2 spots left open in co-creative life coaching. So if you want to do that, there's a link on my website that you can. The website link is here in the blurby thing, but you can go there and I'll say, scroll down to about the middle of the page, and it'll be like, hey, if you want to talk about coaching, click here and we'll have a 30-minute curiosity call about that. Because sometimes, yeah, you can be brutally honest with yourself about when you're being afraid and still be paralyzed in fear, knowing what you're doing. And sometimes having that person by your side as you move forward can be really helpful. Because I'm not here to fix anything. I'm here to facilitate the unfolding of you. I'm here to facilitate giving you that space and the reminder of who you are so that you can step more freely into it in a safe place. Okay. So that said, this week is all about being in that surrender mode, really being okay, and stop resisting being the empty vessel. Stop resisting surrender. Stop being pissed off that you're all dressed up and you don't know what you did with the invitation and can't figure out where your directions are. Stop that resistance and start saying, I'm so excited about this emptiness. I'm so excited that I get to be this empty vessel of pure potentiality. I wonder what's coming for me. I wonder, because you know what? I know that love is all around me. And so I am perfectly safe. It is safe for me to surrender. It's safe for me to not know what's going on. It's safe for me to not be in control right now because I'm not anytime at all anyways. It is safe for me to go within and really just look, instead of sitting at in the chair next to the front door with my purse in my lap, I'm gonna go and talk about how gorgeous. I'm gonna go look in the mirror and be like, my dress for this party is so fucking amazing. Oh my gosh, it's like the red dress from Outlander season 2. If you know, you know. You know, this is amazing. I'm so excited because love is all around me. So I trust the universe. And you know what? I'm going to be so ready because life is going to come fast after all this stuff is done and cleared. And, and it's giving me the time to get ready and to really, really understand and stand in what pure potentiality feels like. Because once it starts moving, it's going to go fast. And then being okay with that mystery, knowing that I can enjoy the mystery. It's not scary, it's exciting. So that's our news for the week. That's our energy from the week. Again, the dates for this week are Mercury goes direct on the 18th. And then on the 21st, which is Saturday, we have new moon in Aquarius. Then on Sunday, it's Lunar New Year. And then I will see you again on Monday. I'm so excited. Again, those of you that were in the workshop on Saturday, check your emails. All the replays and documentation is there for you. Also, along with a link that if you do want to talk about coaching and talk about what that looks like for you, there's a link there to set up a call. Those will, again, not start till the 31st of January. Energy, like right there, that's energy getting all dressed up and waiting for the invitation to come. So, but what I will say is don't wait till the 31st to book your call. Go ahead and book it now because there might be other people booking calls, and that means that you won't be able to talk to me until February. So just saying. Anyways, that's all. And that's it for this week. And I love you so much. Oh, you're welcome, Mary Jo, for the direction. She says, how appropriate today is MLK Day, and he walked and talked the talk of being the change. Yes, MLK always talked about that. What is your dream? What is your dream? What is the dream of the more perfect society look like? And what is your role? And what is your part in that? Like, what do you want the world to look like? Do you want more kindness? Do you want more peace? Do you want more just love? Then be that. Because if you're going to sit here and say, well, the collective is separate from me, where do you think the collective gets its energy? Because all those things are collective. The collective gets the energy from you and me and the other 9 billion people or however many people is running around on the planet. So every single one of us, if we attune to the energy of love, that is where that stuff will shift. If everyone attunes to it. So yes, I love that. Yes, be the change. And Gandhi was very big on be the change back in the day too. Like that's where all that kind of came from, is that whole be the change. I think honestly, when we think about all that stuff, those people have come forth on various occasions to remind us to be the change. Instead of, be impeccable with your words. Stop complaining about what you don't like. Figure out, and the thing is, when you listen to yourself and you're like, oh, that is what I don't like, because you might not know what you do want. So listening to what you're upset about, but then realizing if I stay in this energy, all I'm going to get is more of this. And being impeccable with your word is understanding what's coming out of your mouth as your vibration, and then deciding to change it, to say, I'm going to speak blessing. If I don't like what I'm seeing, I'm going to talk about what I want. And I'm going to be what my words are, being impeccable with my word. First agreement. That's a whole nother story. All right. I'm going to go 4 minutes over. I love you all so much. Thank you so much for joining me today. And may you have a wonderful week. And until next time I see you, I will see you in the vortex. Have a great week, y'all. Bye-bye.